side. Massive number of people have been upgrading. Yes.
There you go. You see the graceful limb that you were talking about before.
The race we've got yet again, and a victor then goes victory to an American, Andy Hampton.
The belt to go by. He looks at the Colombian rider. How are you doing?
Straight past Santiago Patero, and he's coming up to Pantani.
Armstrong is sitting in the last few hundred metres as we come towards the finish of this monumental stage. And Armstrong,
as we start to approach the line now, Pantani grits his teeth and accelerates and over the line.
Is going now to win stage number 15. Sepp Kuss, an emotional finish from Durango in the USA. Sepp Kuss wins.
Hello, welcome everybody. Between Two Wheels podcast, stage 10, Tour de France, 2025 Tour de France. This is Tyler Yonke. We're gonna do a quick one. We had some interesting stuff going on today, and I think we're gonna have a fun show. Is it fun? No, it's Bastille Day, so we got to make fun of the French just a little bit. Storming the Bastille to break out some perverts from prison. I think that's really what happened. It's right on French. It's right on par. Welcome. Let's talk bike racing. Let's talk Tour de France, stage 10. Typically, this is the Monday, so we're usually having a rest day, but it's Bastille Day. Victor's here. Welcome aboard. But it's Bastille Day, so we've got that going on, and since it's Bastille Day, it's like their 4th of July. We'll talk about that just a little bit here. Once again, here is the breakdown. Now we're in this Massif Central, right down here, this Mont-Dore Puy de Sancy. That's the finish. It goes from Ennezat. There you go. So that's the stage we are looking at here. 165.3 kilometers, basically what, 100 miles here? Is that 163 times 0.62, 101. Yeah, right around 100 miles. So pretty good. But what do we have? Like 8 Cat 2s here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Cat 2s and a Cat 3. The Cat 3 just mounts on top of the Cat 2. So pretty interesting little display there. But it's Bastille Day. What is Bastille Day? It's a common name given in English-speaking countries to the National Day of France, which is celebrated on the 14th of July each year. It is referred to both legally and commonly as Le 14 Juillet in French. Okay, who cares about that? French National Day is the anniversary of the storming of the Bastille. We have the same here. It's called January 6th. July 14, 1789, a major event of the French Revolution, as well as the Fête de la Fédération, that celebrated the unity of the French people on 14th of July, 1790. Celebrations are held throughout France. One that has been reported as the oldest and largest military parades in Europe is held on the 14th on the Champs-Élysées in France. In Paris, in front of the President of France, along with other French officials and foreign guests. We'll do a little bit of the history here. 1789, tensions rose in France between reformists and conservative factions as the country struggled to resolve an economic crisis. In May, the Estate General Legislative Assembly was revived, but members of the Third Estate broke ranks, declaring themselves to be the National Assembly of the country. And on 20th of June, vowed to write a constitution for the kingdom. They're getting rid of serfdom, I guess, or feudalism. There you go. July 11, Jacques Necker, the finance minister of Louis the, Louis the 16th, who was sympathetic to the Third Estate, was dismissed by the king, provoking an angry reaction from Parisians. Crowds formed, fearful of an attack by the royal army or by the foreign regiments of the mercenaries of the king's service and seeking to arm themselves. Early on the 14th of July, a crowd besieged the Hôtel des Invalides for firearms, muskets, and cannons stored in its cellars. That same day, another crowd stormed the Bastille, a fortress prison. There you go. in Paris. Once again, it's just like our January 6th. They were just storming a prison. At least that we keep convicts. And for the U.S., that's our sacred halls of government. That same day, another crowd stormed the Bastille, a fortress prison in Paris that had historically held people jailed on the basis of the lettres de cachet, literally signet letters, arbitrary royal indictments that could not be appealed and did not indicate the reason for the imprisonment, on which was believed to hold a cache of ammunition and gunpowder. As it happened at the time of the attack, the Bastille held only 7 inmates, none of great political significance. Yeah, I think they were sexual perverts, as they call them back in the day. Okay, there you go. So that is what the French are writing for today. I'm just making jokes here. That's what they're writing for today. And then tomorrow we have a rest day. So there it is. This is important because then tomorrow's a rest day. And then we have Toulouse. It's like a circuit that we're doing here, which is 156, so under 100 miles on Wednesday. This is going to soften the legs up. And I truly, truly believe, it looks a little jagged here when you first look at it and you're like, oh shit, but these are Cat 4s. I don't think this is gonna cause GC trouble, especially with what's coming the next day. I think what you're going to see, and depends on who's in yellow and what the ideas are and who needs a stage win before the next big day, because this is coming up on Thursday, how to come. Okay, Col de Soleil, and then how to come. It's a brutal climb, so we've got that coming. But let's talk about today. What's the plan? So maybe we should actually look before we get there. Let's take a look here. And because what was I saying was yesterday? It's like, look, you need some riders down, some lower. So maybe some guys want to get in yellow. You're going to see EF going all out for it. I'm like, I think I said Ben Healy, good chance of him getting in the yellow jersey, right? He's not a guy you're going to necessarily be worried about for the overall, but he's definitely a guy that could get up the road there. So Healy was down here. Palace was down here 16 minutes. Healy was down here at 3:55. Skilmos is another one, but I didn't think Skilmos. I think he has too much credibility for the overall to have let him go. Enrique Mas, perhaps. Carlos Rodriguez. I thought Guillaume Martin. But we had a different break. And so let's get to the actual breakdown here. A little bit of a overview. I mean, gorgeous part of France. What are we going to do? Pogacar's in yellow. And what you're going to, and they're kind of reminiscing of the things that happened the other day. So we're going to get to the actual finish here. They're just recapping everything for us. There's the stage. There we go. That's what we have in mind. Kilometer 0. Now, we did have a breakaway get up the road. I'm not going to break down too much of the breakaway. We're going to see there was a pretty good sized group. And it took a little bit for them to get going. And then we had the sprint points up there. We had a bunch of these KOMs. So with the jersey in only with 7 points on Tim Willen's back here, that's how many points he had. I think 8 or 7 or 8 points holding the jersey. There was a lot more points at Bay today, to get, and a very good chance that you're going to get a new KOM jersey out of this, unless Tim Wellens holds on to the finish and starts scooping up remnants. So immediately you're like, okay, well, who's it going to? Well, you're starting to see Lenny Martinez. Now, Lenny Martinez. The year Sepp Kuss won the Vuelta, or maybe it was the year before that. He actually, no, it was the year that Sepp did, because Lenny Martinez went into the red jersey when the day Sepp Kuss actually won the stage 8 of the Vuelta, and then Sepp goes in there later. Now, Lenny Martinez has done, good climbing. He's won a few little 3-day races. He's a French rider. He was on Groupama FDJ. Now he's on Bahrain. And he came in the first, we're watching him first. He's holding for stage 1. He was having a hard time even just holding on to the pack. But he's a good climber, and people come into their own. So break down a little bit too the two big teams we have here, and this is what I've been talking all along. You've seen Sepp Kuss kind of at the back. Sepp Kuss, if you watch him, he won the Vuelta a few years ago. He's been the star domestique in the mountains he's won a stage of the Tour de France before. He's been the absolute best climbing domestique for Roglic and Vingegaard for years, right? Last year, got sick, didn't do so well, and had a little bit more trouble. Didn't even do the Giro, didn't do the Tour because he had COVID. Came in and was the leader in the Vuelta and faltered. I don't even think he was in the top 10. So he had some troubles. Now, so I'm like, I don't know if how he's going to be coming in here, but it's important, and he hasn't been at all visible. So it's going to be important to see stages like on Thursday, how to come. That's a big one that you're going to need Sepp Kuss. And it's just my prediction watching that he's fine. And he did okay at the Dauphiné, so that he's probably fine. They're just holding him back. And the team can do different things. Like that first section of races for Visma, they needed a classics rider. And I'm sorry, Matteo Jorgensen won. He climbs great. He didn't win the Puy de Dôme a few years ago, but he's won Paris-Nice twice. His climbing is becoming better and better. Top 10 last year in the Tour, so he's obviously been able to help as a domestique there. But he's also a great classics rider. Won Doors, wasn't it, last year? He does well in the classics, so he can ride the cobbles. he's fantastic. So him coming in there, if you want to equate the Visma and UAE, you've got, I think, João Almeida and Jorgensen are very on par with each other. Okay, but João's now, he crashed and he quit yesterday. So then you have Soler. Okay, maybe he's like Tish Benoot, Wellens. Maybe he's like Jorgensen, or I don't know who. You got some other. But now you're watching today, and it's going to be interesting to see which of those riders come. Simon Yates, Adam Yates, who's going to be coming out of the blocks. So anyway, races on today. Bahrain victorious. You get. They said, good time for a break to go. It's good that you are there, but don't waste the B. I don't know what that means. That's for Lenny Martinez. So this break gets established. Quinn Simmons is in it. You've got like Nelson Powless, Ben Healy, Bowden was in there, and then I was trying to remember the other guy's rider. For at least 4 EF riders. You had Blackmore and Mike Woods up there. Like I said, Lenny Martinez is up there. Arensman, Timon Arensman for Ineos. So it was an interesting break, and they go off the road. Simon Yates gets up in there into the move. I think Ben O'Connor also made it up into the move. And I'll just tell you, the break was interesting. Lenny Martinez just starts gobbling up the KOM. So you're like, okay, fine. French guy, maybe he could go for the win. Maybe feel like he didn't have it, but he was just going and gobbling up all the points there for the climber's jersey. Fine. So you're going to have a Frenchman in the polka dot jersey for Bastille Day. Perfectly fine. He gets over the rest. He'll probably be able to hold it until Catacomb. Okay, so there you go. So, but back in the break here, you've got Niels Pollitt, you've got Soler, Tim Wellens. UAE is doing their part. But up in the break, you had Simon Yates and you had Victor Campenaerts. That's called a satellite rider. What does that mean? You send a rider up the road who can actually get up and over these climbs. And then if you have a breakaway or you need help and you don't have all your team there, they can actually help assist. Okay? So those two guys are going up the road. Now, I will say this. Sometimes with Visma, this tour, I've been like, I don't know what you're really doing. Tadej has been very outspoken about what they're doing. And I don't have a problem with a lot of the things they're doing that are what I consider chaos. Okay? Because it seems to be frustrating him being Tadej, mightily. He's commenting on it day after day about how it's annoying, da-da-da-da. As long as they're not doing the work of UAE, I'm okay with a lot of this stuff. Okay, it may not be your textbook how you know, but one thing you don't want to do is do the work for them, which we've seen them do a few times. So it's, you know, keep all these little trinkets in mind. The break, once again, the break gets going up the road. Ben O'Connor makes a few moves. This starts to break up. Lenny Martinez. This doesn't show us what the gap is, 4 minutes. Yeah, they get up to the 3:49 there. It gets up to, over 5 minutes, close to 6. Ben Healy only needed 3:55. He was a virtual leader on the road. Quinn Simmons was just pounding this thing. You also had... I'm trying to remember the guy's name. He's there in the movie star jersey. He's the one that won 2 times last year in the Vuelta. He can go up real well. Mike Woods was seemingly around there, but Mike Woods is 39 years old. No offense, he's starting to look a little shabby. Wout's up there doing work for Visma as well. Everyone looked pretty good as far as the race goes. Adam Yates up there. You've got, like I said, Tim Willems, Soler. Tade was taken care of. Quinn Simmons decides, I want to say it was around 20 or so kilometers to go. He decides to try to break away. Ben Healy had tried to do that as well. But I think Ben Healy at one point just made the decision, you know what? This is going to go better for me if I just, because you'd only have a few chances to get the yellow jersey. Sweeney is his teammate. He'd been just hammering this thing. Ben Healy just decides, I'm going on the front. I'm making sure this break makes it to the finish, or at least I make it to it as far as I can before I blow to get the yellow jersey. I'm not gonna, you could tell he threw in the towel for the win and was just pushing straight ahead for the yellow jersey. Perfectly fine. Simon Yates, he's sitting on the back. At one point, Campenarts gets ejected out of there, but the whole team for Visma looked pretty good. At one point, Sepp Kuss was pulling on the front with Tish Benoot, and then Tish pulls off, and Sepp Kuss just keeps kind of going. And there's a few climbs to the finish, keeps going, and then the group comes up to him, and then he goes off the front with the guy, and then comes back. So then he attacks again, and then comes up to him is Jorgensen. Jorgensen makes a few moves, and it forces Team UAE to do work to catch back on the front. Now, people might go, these are useless attacks. I don't think so. And the reason I don't think so is because Jonas never was reacting. Jonas was never attacking. I mean, he was reacting following the wheels. But what it did was it jettisoned all the UAE team riders. So Tade was completely isolated. Now, Adam Yates, you see this break here where Jonas goes up there, the other guys go up, and then Jorgensen at another time, Ben Healy once again, he's charging ahead. Quinn Simmons gets blown out here. I want to get back to the main group here. Sepp, once again, on the front, doing a bunch of work when they come back. And then Jorgensen again attacks, this time followed very closely by just a few riders. And you can see right here in the back part, come on boys, really good. Okay, that's fine. Which is Sepp Kuss is back here because he had just been doing, work on the front. But all the UAE guys are back there except for Tade. So they've totally isolated Tade. If something happens, he's a bit screwed. He doesn't have any riders up the road. Jorgensen goes over the front. They catch on with Campenarts. And meanwhile, at the front, going up for the last 3 kilometers climb, Simon Yates decides to attack. Look, things change. You're up the road. You figure you had you being Visma. They were up there for satellite riders. Everything's being controlled quite nicely behind. I think the concern was, we don't know, as an example, Sepp seems to be doing fine, but we don't know. He hasn't really, felt himself. And this is a weird kind of mid-climb. It's not his ideal. But Sepp was a brilliant today, so he was fine. Jorgensen was fine. Tish Benoot held on a lot longer than you might have expected, and Jonas is good. Then you had Campenarts still with Simon Yates. So at one point, they're like, okay, Campenarts, you go back there, you pull through the valleys or between the climbs, which you did for quite a big move. And then we have Simon Yates. Why don't you go for the win? We don't need you back there doing anything because they got Simon Yates, they have Campenarts in between. Then they had Sepp Kuss, Jorgensen, and then finally they had Jonas. I mean, the team looked exceptionally strong today, so why not let your guy go up the road? This is a great chance. He's got to beat Ben Healy, who is pulling for the yellow jersey. Arensman, okay, Simon Yates can beat him. You should be able to. Ben O'Connor, he takes a little bit of a move in here. Ben O'Connor does try to come up to him, doesn't quite get there. Tymon Arensman pulls within about 4 or 5 seconds, really tries to hold it most of the climb, but he just can't quite get there, even though at the finish, finally, there you go. Simon Yates looks back. He's got it in tow. He does sit up. So I think the overall time gap at the finish is about 4 or 5 seconds, but it didn't matter. Arensman might be pissed off, but then there you go. They're coming up the last climb. Jorgensen has everything in control. Remco decides to hit out here. He goes for it. Once again, Tade has no teammates, so he's tired of getting attacked. Boro's up there. Ben Healy pushes himself. These days ago, when Matthew van der Poel was trying to get back in the yellow, and Visma was pushing it. At this point, Tade attacks. Now, is back. Jonas is there for Uno X. Another Carlos Rodriguez back there as well, but no board. But Tadej, oh, let's go back here. See if I can play a little bit of this. It looks pretty harsh. Now, Jonas, and he keeps attacking and going. He was going to snap where he looks behind for help. And we've seen that multiple times over the last few years. He's looking behind, and that's where I just lose the yellow jersey. So at one point, he's coming up here. Lenny Martinez has been up there. Lenny gets in front of Tadej, and he just pulls him the last like kilometer and a half, or last 500 meters or whatever it was. I think it was inside the last kilometer. I don't know why he's doing that. It's not the same team. It was nice to see that Tadej and Jonas weren't fighting it out. But Ben Healy did. There you go. So you got Lenny Martinez. He's coming over the finish. But with that in mind, it slowed things down enough where Lipowitz, Jorgensen, Remco, Roglic, and Only, and then the Una X rider were able to almost come up there, and they lose, just like 2 seconds at the finish. A little handshake between the two boys, and all is good. There you go. There you go. Simon Yates gets the win. Quite nice for him. Ben Healy gets the yellow jersey. Very nice for EF Education. A lot of time on the podium there. There you go. Yates, Arnsman, Healy takes the time bonuses, which was also helpful for him. Ben O'Connor comes in, disappointing 4th. Michael Storer for Australia and Tudor at 123. Blackmore, 357. These are all guys in the breaks. Johannesson, 438. He's for UNOX. His brother, okay, these are twins. Johannesson, he was in the break, and then his brother was up there with the lead group. Lenny Martinez comes in at 451 with Pogacar and Vingegaard. Yellow jersey, Ben Healy, the Irishman, even though he has an English accent. Pogacar, 29 seconds. Evenepoel, 129. Vingegaard, 146. Jorgensen, 206. Vauquelin loses time today. He drops down 3 places to 226. Oscar Orn leads the same. Lipowitz, Roglic, and T. Johannesson, the twin on UNOX, moves up 2 places to 503. Milan still keeps the green jersey, but Pogacar, I don't know if Pogacar, I imagine he got some points and moved up on that today. There you go, the polka dot jersey for the Frenchman, 27 points ahead of Ben Healy with 16, Mike Woods with 11, back to Tim Willems with 8. I could see Woods or Healy trying to, well, we'll talk about this, but maybe Ben Healy will take a little break in the peloton. He's in the white jersey as well, 129 over Evenepoel, and a little bit more than that over Vauquelin. All right, there you go. There you go. So here's the king of the mountains. As you can see, Lenny Martinez was taking them all along. Anders Johannesson took the sprint all the way down. Quinn Simmons, Simon Yates took the 5 at the finish, but there wasn't a ton of those points at the finish. Comes in there. Did we get, yeah, Pogacar, so he did get a bit. Most combative rider, Ben Healy on the day. I would agree with that because he drove that break mightily. Youth classification, he is also in the lead there. Okay, so now that Ben Healy is in the yellow jersey, this is where we start to, let's go to the results here. Actually, I want to go to the profile. So this is where we go to tomorrow. So I think this stage tomorrow, it's going to be a Wednesday, day off tomorrow. Ben Healy is going to, this is great for Pogacar. He's going to get a day off of not having to do all these interviews. There's questions about, because Sivakov got blown out today. That's another rider, good climber for them that's having a lot of trouble. He got blown out the back because he's sick. There's rumors that perhaps Tadej is sick. Now, his launching at the end says no, but he's not really talking to a lot of press. But he doesn't have to necessarily do it tomorrow on the rest day. And Ben Healy is going to have to. Now, it's good for EF. They're going to take it in stride, get themselves, control this race tomorrow or Wednesday. Maybe a break. So I'm thinking a break gets up the road, or they keep it in check, or they're not going to let a break get up the road that's going to be threatening to that. That's my prediction. I don't think tomorrow is a day for Wednesday is a day for GC at all. And I think EF is going to control it, and you're going to see them in charge going into how to come on stage 12 on Thursday. And then maybe Ben Healy can do some miraculous stuff, maybe get a top 10 overall, but I do foresee him, especially with this thing coming in place here, Ben Healy is going to lose the yellow jersey, and you're going to see a major shakeup on the front. It'll be fantastic to watch, to see. I just wanted to put a point here, which is Jonas did not. It was encouraging to see how he's been able to stay with all the little kickers. We've seen him get distance momentarily, but immediately come back up to Tade. So there's been an equalization somewhat on those two on that side. It'll be interesting because the time trial, something was gone with Jonas's legs there. Has his ability to be a little bit more punchy? Was that why he couldn't time trial that well? We'll see how it is for the longer climbs. It'll also be interesting to see how you have a great potential here. I mean, if Jorgensen continues to ride like he is, and he's doing, work for his teammate here, you can see him, being up in the top 4. He might be able to, I haven't seen him do any worse than Remco. Okay. He's up there. He lost time to Remco on the time trial. But I'm talking about the climbing, and every time it's usually him doing work on the front, and then Remco's trying to ends up pulling him back, or they're in the same group, or he leaps through him on the end. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, you could see 2 Visma guys on the podium. It'll also be interesting to see how Sepp Kuss comes through for the race tomorrow, or Wednesday, or Thursday actually is the one I'm really thinking about. And then if UAE can get anybody up the road with them. They can't do the satellite riders. I don't think they have the team for it right now. It's amazing to see how much they've kind of just buckled. You lose one guy like João Almeida, who is just, you could have podiumed this himself. And so there you go. That's really what we have there. Alpecin de Koenig, non-compliance with assisted feeding. Yeah, I'm sure you get a lot of his assisted feedings problems today. Alpecin got dinged twice for that. Movistar gets dinged 3 times for that. Tudor feeding or foot outside the feeding zone. Okay. Tobias Foss, irregular feeding, sticky bottle. Joseph Blackmore, sticky bottle. Ineos Grenadiers, sticky bottle. Doesn't say which one. And Israel Primertech, sticky bottle. Those are probably to the cars. The other one's to the riders. I don't know. Could be. There you go. Simon Yates in the lead. Who's in the team jersey? It's got to be still Visma. Yeah. They're kind of killing that one right now. Should we do a quick, not commercial, but interview? Let's give this a shot.
Simon Yates, congratulations. A 3rd victory on the Tour de France, but would you say that this one is the victory of experience?
Yeah, to be honest, a little bit, because actually I didn't feel like it out there. It was a really hard start to be there, and a lot of strong guys. And actually that's why I took advantage into the final corners at the bottom of the descent, before the climb started, because I was looking for a bit of a head start. So no, and then I just did my best from there, really.
Great to be back on top spot on the Tour de France 6 years after.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, but actually I also was not really expecting any opportunities here. Of course, we came here fully focused on Jonas and the GC. So yeah, the stage played out in a way that I could be there for the stage. And yeah, I did. Took it with both hands.
You mean that now it's all for Jonas?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, from the start also. I mean, I'm under no illusion that what we're here for, and even today, really, my main plan was to be there just in case there was something happening from behind, but the gap was too big, so yeah, cracked on and went for the stage.
In other words, winning the Giro, you still have the legs.
It's not easy. I'm still a bit tired from there, but yeah, I mean, actually I've been getting better every day since I've been here. It was a bit rusty, I would like to say, at the start. The first few stages there were quite demanding for myself, but I've really been growing into the race, so looking forward to the rest day and the rest of the race.
All right, there you go. Let's go to this next one. This is Ben O'Connor.
It's just nice to get to the mountains again. I wouldn't say I loved that first 9 days, so back to my terrain. But yeah, didn't get a win, so pretty disappointed, to be honest.
Body feeling better though?
Yeah, it was good today. I wasn't really much more I could have done, to be honest. I think, I mean, it's an honest finish. I ran out of legs. So yeah, maybe could have played it at the start better, but in the end, I think Simon was always going to win that with the gap he made at the end.
What about, when was the last time you were in a breakaway at the Tour de France, winning break with 3 other Australians?
Yeah, I don't know, actually. To be honest,
Please,
I think in 23 I was in a break with Durbo, and Hagi was also in that break, to be honest, stage 20. So, no, 19. So that's happened before. It was good having Mara and Plappy up there, so we had some numbers, but yeah, it was a
I hate that nickname, Plappy. The Australians have the worst, their nicknames.
hard day out. Just a bit gutted, to be honest, not done the job properly.
Does it give you something you know, get your confidence up post-rest day? Long way to go in this bike race. You've come from a little way back before.
Yeah. I mean, I think I said earlier, I've read this story before. I've been in this situation before, and come out the other side with some pretty good results. But yeah, fourth is good, and it's nice to be back, but I didn't win, so a bit gutted.
Okay, let's last one here. Let's see what Jonas says.
No one made the difference. Of course. Er du interview eller med bussen?
Vi kan lige så godt gøre det her så.
Er du klar nu? Yes. Jonas Vingegaard, you tell us about the plan you guys had and how you approached it.
Yes, keep a bit of distance. I heard you have been running now. The running club.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to have a good man in the breakaway. We had Simon there. It was incredible. He's winning the stage. I'm really extremely happy for Simon. So it was an incredible day for us, winning the stage, and also for me personally, I'm happy with my legs, how I felt today. So yeah, I think we can say that it was a good day.
We saw a few times Matteo trying, Seb trying. Was it just impossible to do something in the group?
I mean, of course, UAE, they had a very strong team, and also Pogacar had to do a bit of work himself. So yeah, they were very strong and very good at defending today. So yeah, they did super well, and hats off for them.
Jonas, would you have liked to keep Tadej in yellow? We saw you guys obviously come to the front in the finale.
No, I mean, that's not the reason we were attacking. We were attacking to try to put some pressure on, and of course, I mean, if he would stay in yellow, then he would have to do the podium ceremony every day. So obviously, I think that takes some energy, but yeah, we don't think about that. We were just sticking to our own plan, and that was to put pressure on UAE today.
What did you learn from today, Jonas?
Well, that we have a strong team and that my legs are good.
You look really calm. Like, was it hard for you today?
No. Yeah, of course it was. Of course it was a hard day. All day was really up and down and super hard. It was a super hard day. So, but yeah, I'm just super happy with how it went today. Simon winning, but also my own legs.
It seems like you are smiling even more the longer we get into this tour, even though that you are still behind Tadej.
I mean, of course I'm still behind. And of course I have to take time at one point. But today. Yeah, so far this Tour de France, I've been able to follow all his attacks, which I couldn't do in Dauphiné. So obviously, I think that shows that I have a better level now than I had in Dauphiné.
You followed him quite easily today.
I mean, I wouldn't call it easy, but I follow him. Of course, following him is very hard. He has such a strong kick. So yeah, obviously it wasn't easy to follow him.
How are you going to make the difference on this Tadej if you can ever make the difference?
I guess you'll have to figure out later on.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, yes.
Thank you, Jonas.
Okay, so he seemed to be in a decent spirits. Said that his legs were great a few times there. Okay, I'm with it. So rest day tomorrow. Then I'm pretty excited because you got How to Come. You have Super Banyers coming up, I think Saturday, and then Sunday is kind of a little more of a shit one, but. Whatever. I'm looking forward to it. I think we're got some things going on that should be. Today was great cycling. I thought it was fantastic to watch. You had your race within a race. You had the breakaway race. You had the GC, and our boys, the Americans, were out there shining bright. You had Quinn Simmons out in the front looking good. It's interesting that he was riding so hard. It seemed like maybe he could have sat in the break a little bit, but you know what? I mean, I'm not going to fault him too much. It's he's doing what he's doing. It's probably not he's got to learn still, and I know he's super strong. You're going to see him some more. I don't know. Yeah. So Victor says thanks for live stream. Yeah, thanks for being here, Victor. Share this show, people. Like it, subscribe. We're back here. Will we do one tomorrow? What's tomorrow? Tuesday. I'm sorry. Yeah, tomorrow's Tuesday. Maybe if I have something of note to give, I will do a show for Tuesday. But likely it's just going to be back here Wednesday for How to Come. Excited about that one. How to Come. I'm excited. I don't know. I hope you guys are too. All right, that's all we have. Stage 10, looking good. Still, everything's within intact. The only we saw Vauquelin lose a little bit today. We saw a few others, but for the most part, still the same guys looking good. See you tomorrow.